The Ocean and the Wave, Non-Duality for Daily Life, Alan Watts. We often imagine that to be free, we must stand apart, to rise above, to dominate, to conquer the tides of life. But what if freedom is not standing apart from the waves, but realizing you are the ocean? You see, most of us live as though we were tiny figures tossed about on a stormy sea, trying to stay afloat, trying to keep our heads above the chaos. We say things like, "I'm trying to find myself," or "I'm learning to control my emotions," as if I was something separate from the rest of it all. We say, "Life happens to me," never noticing that we are what life is doing. It's a strange predicament. We are the very movement we're trying to control. In our modern world, this confusion has become the background hum of our daily lives. You wake up, check your phone, measure your value in notifications, likes, and goals. There's always something to chase, always something missing. And when you stop chasing, you feel the unease rise, that restless whisper that says you should be doing more. You look around, and everyone seems to be rushing somewhere. We have calendars filled with meetings, hearts filled with worry, and minds filled with noise. We talk of mindfulness as if it were another achievement to earn, another wave to ride perfectly. We think we must become calm, become spiritual, become awakened, all verbs of becoming, all waves trying to change their shape. But the ocean never worries about the shape of its waves, and that, you see, is where this story begins. Imagine standing at the edge of the sea. The sound of the tide is a pulse older than time itself. The water stretches endlessly, shimmering, breathing, moving. From its vastness rises a single wave, distinct for a moment from all the rest. It curls, dances, and breaks before returning again into the deep. Now, we call that a wave, but is it really something separate from the ocean? You can't take the wave away and keep it as it was. The moment you try, it becomes only a handful of water. Its identity, the very thing that made it a wave, was the movement of the whole ocean. And that's exactly what we forget in our daily lives. We imagine we are I, a solitary wave, this isolated entity called me that must survive, achieve, and defend its form. We build careers, reputations, and opinions as if stacking sandcastles against the tide. We forget that every thought, every breath, every desire is the movement of something infinitely larger. You and I are not the wave observing the ocean. We are the ocean observing itself as a wave. It's an odd sort of play, a game of hide and seek, the one pretending to be the many, the sea pretending to forget its own depth, just so it can rediscover itself through the rhythm of rise and fall. And so we struggle, not because life is cruel, but because we keep mistaking the motion for a mistake. The wave fears the crash. It believes that to fall is to die. It doesn't know that the fall is its reunion. It doesn't see that the foam is just the ocean laughing. Look closely, and you'll see that every fear you carry is the wave trembling before its own return. We say, "I'm afraid to lose myself." But how can you lose what you never possessed? The self is the ocean pretending to be temporary. When you were born, the tide of life rose in a particular pattern. You appeared as this momentary curve in the sea, this name, this body, this story. And when you die, the pattern dissolves. The water does not vanish. It returns to its own depth. And yet, while alive, we live as if we could somehow hold back the tide. We resist change, cling to identities, fear uncertainty. We act as if we must choose between being a wave or being the sea. But it's not a choice. You are both. The ego, that restless little I, is the crest of the wave, shining in the sunlight, wanting to stay there forever. And the deeper self, that silent, infinite presence, is the ocean beneath, holding it up. You cannot remove one without the other. The crest is the expression of the depth. And when you understand this, something astonishing happens. You stop fighting the movement. You let life move through you as the sea moves through the wave. But let's be honest, this is not easy to remember. Because life as we experience it feels so personal. Pain hurts, fear feels real, desire burns, you stub your toe, and it's not some philosophical wave. It's you in pain swearing at the furniture. That's where the paradox deepens. You see, non-duality doesn't deny the wave. It embraces it. It doesn't say, you are not this person. It whispers, you are also the ocean. Both at once. When you look at the ocean, each wave has its own personality. Some are gentle, some wild, some small, some vast. None are wrong. The sea expresses itself in infinite forms, never repeating the same gesture twice. And so you, with your particular fears, quirks, and dreams, are how the universe is waving today. It is a dance between form and formlessness, between doing and being, between the finite and the infinite. And yet, in the midst of this cosmic play, the mind keeps asking, but what's the meaning of it all? The wave wants a purpose. It wants to know its destination. But meaning, you see, is not a destination. It's a movement. Just as the music of the sea has no goal, but the music itself. Your life is not a journey from one state to another. It is the very sound of being. When you dance, you don't dance to arrive at the final step. You dance because each movement is the point. And when you begin to see your life this way, not as a ladder to climb, but as a tide to experience, something softens. You stop demanding that every moment justify itself. You stop measuring your worth by how far you've come. You begin to sense that even your confusion, your mistakes, your heartbreaks are part of the ocean's rhythm. Some waves rise in joy, others crash in sorrow, but the sea remains whole. So when you feel lost or anxious or broken, pause for a moment. Listen. Somewhere inside you, the ocean is still. Notice the breath entering and leaving your body. Who is breathing whom? Is you breathing the air, or is the air breathing you? The boundaries blur. The wave meets the wind. The self meets the world. And in that subtle shift, you glimpse the truth, that you have never been separate. Everything you call my life is the sea experiencing itself through this pattern of movement. The laughter, the tears, the arguments, the silence, all ripples on the same vastness. And if you can see that, not as an idea, but as a felt understanding, then even the smallest act becomes sacred. Washing the dishes becomes the ocean cleaning its reflection. Walking to work becomes the tide flowing through city streets. Speaking to a friend becomes the sea recognizing itself in another form. You see, non-duality isn't about escaping daily life. It's about awakening within it. When you stop trying to be spiritual, you start being alive. Because what could be more spiritual than existence itself? The tree outside your window is not practicing enlightenment. It's simply growing, bending toward the light. The river doesn't meditate on how to flow. It just flows. And maybe that's what wisdom really is. Not knowledge, not mastery, but participation. To be fully, utterly here. Now, if you wish to taste this directly, not as philosophy but as experience, try this simple act. When you next stand by water, whether a cup, a river, or the rain, pause, watch it move. Don't name it. Don't think, this is water. Just watch. And then feel the breath move in you, the same movement in and out, rising and falling, the wave and the tide. Notice that the same rhythm is living in both. You are not watching nature. You are nature watching itself. Let this awareness soak into you slowly. Feel it in your bones, your heartbeat, your sighs. Let the world breathe through you. At first, your mind may whisper, but this is silly. I have problems, deadlines, fears. That's okay. Those too are waves. Let them rise. Let them fall. When you stop resisting the motion, even your resistance becomes part of the dance. And gradually, something remarkable happens. The line between self and world fades. You stop feeling like a stranger in your own existence. The universe no longer feels like a thing happening to you, but something happening as you. And when that realization dawns, even for a fleeting instant, you laugh. Not a laugh of mockery, but of recognition. The same laughter that ripples through the foam when the wave falls back into the sea. Because you see, the whole game has been a kind of divine mischief. Life pretending to be separate, just so it could rediscover unity. The ocean dreaming it was a wave, the one dreaming it was you. And when you awaken from that dream, you don't vanish. You simply live differently. You still go to work, still pay bills, still feel pain. But something within you remains untouched. The stillness beneath the movement. You begin to move with life instead of against it. You stop trying to control the tide and start dancing with its rhythm. And this dance is not something you learn. It's something you remember, because deep down, you've always known the steps. Even as a child, you felt it. In the wind on your face. In the laughter that came for no reason. In the wonder of just being alive. Then, somewhere along the way, the world taught you to be serious, to be someone, to be productive. You were told to become a wave of a certain size and shape. But all along, the ocean never stopped being you. And now, as you listen, as you breathe, you might sense it again. That vast, quiet presence behind every thought. The one who doesn't need to be improved or enlightened. That is the ocean. That is what you've always been. And so, the paradox we began with unfolds. To be free is not to rise above life, but to fall completely into it. To surrender to the tide, to trust the movement, to realize that even the crash of the wave is part of the sea's eternal play. When you know this, fear becomes just another ripple. Control dissolves into curiosity. And the old question, who am I, turns into a gentle smile as if to say, of course, I am that which asks and that which answers. And so, life continues. The ocean waves, the stars burn, the wind moves through the grass. You wake up, brush your teeth, make your coffee, ordinary things, sacred things, because now you see it was never you doing these things. It was always the universe in motion. The ocean does not ask how to be a wave. It simply is. And perhaps that is the final secret. Enlightenment is not an achievement, but a remembrance. A remembering that you were never separate, never lost, never alone. You are the ocean, dreaming itself as the wave. And when you awaken, you realize the wave was never anything less than the ocean itself. And so, when the tide comes for you as it comes for all, you will not resist. You will bow gracefully into the deep, knowing you are not disappearing, you are returning. Because to return to the sea is not to end. It is to remember that you were never anywhere else. So let the tide carry you. Let life breathe you. The ocean and the wave, two names for the same infinite dance. And if you listen closely in the hush between your thoughts, you can almost hear it, the sea whispering to itself through you, welcome home.